Welcome back to the Kern Electric Girls State Volleyball Championship Preview Show presented by Cannon and Dunphy. I am Mike McGivern. My co-host is Rachel Cash. She is the varsity girls volleyball coach at Brown Deer High School, also a writer for Prep Dig, and I would highly recommend, if you want to know anything about the state of Wisconsin come volleyball, you want to go to Prep Dig. And they do a great job, and Rachel does a really nice job of highlighting some student athletes throughout the state. Rachel, before we dig into Division III, I have a coach's question for you. As a basketball coach, it took me a little bit to understand that I needed to coach the players that I had and not have the players just come in and run the system that I run. If you're going to play against Greg Gard at Wisconsin in basketball, you don't really have to scout him. He's going to run the swing, and he's going to play man-to-man. Shaka Smart at Marquette does it differently. He plays some zone, he presses, he runs different offenses. And as a volleyball coach, do you coach the system that you have, and you have the players come into that system, or do you coach players and have to change the systems to the type of athletes and the skill set that they have?
Yeah, I mean, I think coaches definitely have their preferred systems. There's most coaches will have what they would prefer to do, but sometimes you do have to get creative with the positions and the talent you have at the moment. And I think the best coaches can do both and kind of balance what, they want to run with like the creativity of utilizing their best talent to win, basically.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do. And I think some schools, especially in college, will recruit players that can play into their system, like the Badgers, women's volleyball, right? He's got his system, and he's going to run that system, and it's an impressive team and program for sure. Hey, let's talk Division III. I'm a little upset because I had a kind of a dog in the fight here. Lake Country Lutheran, I have a grandson that goes to school there, and they got beat. Barron, who was the 1 seed in Division III. And if people are wondering where Barron is, it's about 50 miles past Eau Claire, almost into Minneapolis, I guess. But they beat them in 5 sets. They beat Lake Country Lutheran in 5 sets, and they're going to take on La Crosse Aquinas. And one of the things, I like the backstories on all of this stuff, Coach. I really do. And we've got 2 coaches that are playing in the state finals, one for Aquinas and one for Barron, that both played volleyball at those schools. And I love the fact that they played, they understand how important it is, that on the front of the jersey, what that says, and they've come back to coach at these schools, and both of them now are playing for a state final.
Yeah, that's really awesome and just really fun to see.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I read a quote that the coach from Barron talked about, and I read it on a newspaper up there, and I really liked it, and I want to kind of read it to you and get your feelings on it. She said, look, it's a remarkable around here. Few people ever get to experience this. So what I've been telling our players all week is take everything in. We're going there to play volleyball. We're going to win. We're going to try to win. But I want you to understand the balance of this and make memories, experience all along the way, and just take everything in, snapshots in your brain. And I think that's a really good approach for this coach.
I agree. What a great big picture vision to see, because the volleyball, it's there. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a battle, but everything from the moment they walk in to the bus ride to hearing their names called over the loudspeaker to the fans, it's all going to be amazing.
It is. Hey, let's talk a little bit about these teams. Barron, who's the 1 seed, their last loss was August 31st, Coach, and they haven't given up. I'm looking at their schedule, and it's 2-0, 2-0, 3-0. They didn't give up many at all, and haven't lost since August 31st. And we don't know much about Barron in this neck of the woods, but obviously a really good program and a really good team.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some just key standout players, and something I wrote down in my notes for numerous players, huge energy on the court. They can get momentum, and they just get rolling. One of their main players is Alexis Helverson. She just doesn't stop. She's on the court all 6 rotations. She's a lefty. She just takes huge rips on the ball and can just get that momentum going. They're led by their setter, Lillian Harmon. And she's, again, all around. She's the quarterback of the team, and she just keeps all of her hitters involved, and she just does an amazing job. This team just has so much energy. It's kind of hard to stop them.
Well, I love that. And Lacrosse Aquinas, their head coach is Danielle Dolan. What impressed me, their record isn't as good as Barron, but boy, they have played some big schools along the way. They've played Middleton twice. They played Bayport, who's gotten up to Madison or up to Green Bay, excuse me, in non-conference and the conference, and they won their conference, the Mississippi Valley Conference. But they've played Onalaska and Holman, and that conference is filled with really good volleyball programs. And when you talk about Aquinas, you talk about Danielle Dolan. Again, she's a graduate from Aquinas, and I love that. They're coming in as the top seed, and I think Barron's probably going to have their hands full. And when you look at the schedule that Aquinas played, they're going to be used to playing against really good competition.
Yeah, absolutely. They are aggressive and they're efficient. Those are some keys for Aquinas. They have outside hitter Samantha Davis, and she flies high. She takes a huge approach and some massive swings. Their libero, Tessa, is just super aggressive in the back row. Not much touches the ground when she's back there. And she is fearless. She will throw her body around that court like it's pretty nuts. She's all over that court picking up balls, and that makes it really tough for opponents to earn points when you've got a libero that's that scrappy that can just pick up every single thing that comes over the net. So they're a really aggressive team, and when they go up against the energy of Barron, it's gonna be competitive.
You're going to watch that game, aren't you? You're going to watch all these. Rachel, we're going to get to a break. On this side of the break, we will talk about Division II, and then last segment, we'll talk about Division I, and looking forward to that. This is the Kern Electric Girls State Volleyball Championship Preview Show, presented by Cannon and Dunphy, only on My 24.